Good morning, team, and welcome to another edition of The Pool Guy. Today, we are in the pump house for the kids section. The kids section is a Rainfortress FR4 from Whitewater West. It's a pretty cool feature, quite universal in the aquatics industry. When you get them, they all pretty much look the same. Of course, the theming is different. So this is the pump house for it. It's quite a small pump house, but we really don't need a lot for it. It's pretty simple. So if you look at these pipes here, all right, they all go down into the ground. These are called stubs. Each stub goes to a specific feature, right? For us, for this one, these go to the slides. Each one of these goes to a slide. And if you see this tag right here, once the manufacturer sets the flow, we're not able to touch them anymore. So they get locked out by the manufacturer. Only a manufacturer can come and adjust them. If that happens, we have to recommission the attraction. So that's why we don't touch them. All right, here's the filter set up for it. There's the filter. It's a Defender. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Defender filter. It's kind of hard. There's a little bit of humidity inside of the tank, but those are tubes. I'm going to put a link up in the tab up so you can see what I'm talking about, the tubes. And what we use is a product called Paralite. Let me see if I can open this without breaking the glass. All right, and this is the media we use. It's very fine. Very, very fine. And what happens, we put it in the tank, and once it's flowing, it does what we call the pre-coat. So if you follow the pipe, it goes up, goes that way, goes down, right? But you can't tell unless you're really looking at it. There's a pipe that comes here, and then it goes down, 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 goes to there, and then it gets sucked back into it. So what happens is the pneumatic valve right there shuts. This little guy opens. So it goes into this big loop. And then what happens is the tubes, it's being pushed through here. The media gets churned around and it gets pushed onto these tubes. The tubes are the exit point for the water to go up. Once it's pushed on there and it's set, it becomes the filter set. It becomes the filter media, right? Kind of think about the veins on a paper filter, right? They're like this, set next to each other, except here, there are a bunch of tubes going all the way around inside the filter, right? And I know I say all right a lot, my apologies. Once it's done pre-coating, that valve will open, and this one will close. We call this the pre-coat valve. And then that valve up there is called the effluent valve. Once it opens, it will send the water filtered back to the pool. Now again, we went through that attraction last week, but it's that attraction right there. Now here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing about this attraction. Y'all remember that the pool would have been no deeper than 6 to 8 inches, right? 6 to 8 inches at the most depth in the pool. This is a lot of water flow because it's not only for the slides, it's also for the rest of the attraction, which is the big dumping bucket, all the other little bucket systems in there, the sprayers, all that. So there's a lot of water flowing through this attraction. Well, how do you get that with only 2 feet of water? Let me show you. Well, excuse me, it's not 2 feet, but about 6 inches of water. Here's the surge pit for it. That's the surge pit. Now, it's pretty big. About 70,000 gallons just alone in this tank. It's a little green. We'll clean it out before we get it started. Let me see if I can get some shade here. It might be hard to tell, but if you look right here, you see there's a wall. So the whole attraction is actually elevated about 3.5 feet. So because of that, we also had to deepen the tank to be able to offset the depth over there and how high it is. So there's a lot of water flowing through here. What's cool about this tank is when we get it filled up and we're filtered, you can see all the way to the bottom of the pool. It's amazing. I love it. This is one of my favorite pump houses, just because of its simplicity and, of course, this surge tank. It's so awesome. I love it. Now, we're filtering here at approximately 1,800 gallons a minute. Oh, my data sheet's gone. About 1,800 gallons a minute. Each one of these is a 20 horsepower. And each one of these 20 horsepowers, of course, goes to each different stub, right? And then that side, of course, that is for all the other little smaller attractions. As far as the sprayers and jets and stuff like that. And if you can see, there's no tags on these because they don't have anything to do with actual ride. They're just water sprayers. So there's no tags for them. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go to the attraction itself so I can show you a little bit more of the piping that goes into it. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. All right, stand by. All right, team, we're under the Rainfortress attraction now. Wanted to show you a couple things. We had some questions about, how do we get the water to the attraction itself. You see I've got two stubs here and the valve shut right there. That one actually goes to the green slide here. And if you look right there, you see the blue slide comes off the main stem here, right? And there's the pipe that brings the water in for the green stub. Now, the whole pipe is not filled with water. There's an internal pipe that comes off and goes to the different flanges on this area. This one does feed a couple of the attractions up top. There's a couple sprayers and some drop buckets. These little handguns right there, those are fed off of this attraction, or off this stub right here. There's another stub right here for just this one goes up and does those buckets up there, a little bit of that, right? Same thing here. There's a stub right there, and that stub feeds some more. Was a question about what it looks like under the panels or behind the panels. I've got one section we can actually look into. Once we do open them up, I'll get into them a little bit more so you can see. But I can show you a little bit of what we are working on under the attraction itself. All right. So you see a PVC pipe going to one of the features right there. And if you look under there, there's another stub. And it splits off. There's a valve and a flange that goes up. And then there's another pipe. There's another small feature on the other side. And I'll show you what that one goes to real quick. All right. It's kind of odd the way it works, but it goes to that valve, this valve right here, this handle valve, and it controls those squirters right there. It's always really funny. This valve controls this little feature right here where it sprays water. It's pretty funny the way it works, but that's how it works. Not sure why. But yeah, not all the stubs have a pipe all the way through. Just some, sometimes they do. This one doesn't. It goes all the way to the top there, but it doesn't actually have water flowing through the whole pipe. Just a couple sections to get water flow. And that's it. I will be soon getting up to the bucket and walking through the bucket, so we could talk a little bit about that later. Hope you're enjoying the videos. More to come. I know it's a little boring without water, but that will come. We're getting there, little by little. Weather's been kind of a crapshoot this week. It's been in the in the 40s and 50s this week with rain, and that's no go for repairs on water slides. So we're doing what we can. Doing all the internal work inside pump houses right now. So anyway, if you're liking, please subscribe. Don't forget to like the movie or like the video and a thumbs up. See you on the next one, team. Thanks so much.